I'll go right.
For all you people that jumped off the wagon, shame on you! You gotta be falling in love with this team. They fight, they grind. They're coming.
Yeah, what up? Yeah, what up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is the guy Marcellus Ease. We back. NYC is looking crazy. Knicks fans going nuts. We got a lot on the docket for tonight. We're going to talk about the Eastern Conference standings, who's going up, who's going down. And is NYC really feeling these Brooklyn Nets? The Nets are sitting on 8-2 in the last 10 games. The Knicks are 7-3. The Nets are pretty much championship bound, but why is NYC rocking so hard with the Knicks? I don't feel the same energy coming from the Nets. And then we're going to also talk about KP, what's going on in Dallas. Is he feeling salty? He's out there. He's not looking too happy. He was asked about the rumors about his trade. And then he told them at the last minute, he doesn't know anything. So what's going on over there in Dallas? But phone lines are open. Give me a call. Let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
And definitely drop your 2 cents. It's a Monday night. Let's figure out what's going on. Give me a call. What do y'all think was going on with KP up in Dallas? How do you feel about the Knicks in this Eastern Conference standings? A lot of teams going up, a lot of teams going down. We got the Washington Wizards moving up the rankings. They're 7-3 in their last 10. The Atlanta Hawks just fired their coach. What's going on with them? We got the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler doing their best army fatigue rendition over there, trying to move up the standings. And the Celtics, man, they're 4-6. Jason Tatum looking like they're taking a step back. They're still trying to convince us that he's a star out there. What's going on? Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, my bad. What's going on, man?
What's going on? What's your name and where you from?
What's up, John Carlos from Poughkeepsie, New York.
Oh, bet. Yo, let me start off with the Brooklyn Nets, man. What are you thinking? Do they got the energy of the city or nah?
No. If you go watch the first time Kyrie and KD stepped onto a Nets court that opening night, was it 2 years ago now, whatever it was, they got booed out the building that first night. New York will always be a Knicks town. That's not even an issue. I mean, outside of New York, obviously people are watching them as stars. But in New York, they'll always be a Knicks town. But what I wanted to say was, if you don't mind, about making a move right now, I think there's no point. You're not going to beat the Nets anyway. So why move somebody, like say you move RJ or say you move, one of these young guys. They're already playing pretty good in their second year. Well, RJ's in the second year. Like, he's already playing great. 3 years, 4 years, he could be the next star. So why trade a player now and make a move when you're not going to win a chip anyway? We're already in fourth place. Mm-hmm. I think you should just let the season ride out.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily – they don't have to make a move where it has to be like a superstar trade, like a blockbuster deal. It could be a move where we get like 2 role players, maybe like a guy like Burke, like someone else, and we can.
Yeah, I would be more down with that.
Yeah, we could take advantage of some of these players that some of these teams are trying to get off the books. Like, for example, like Michael Jordan down in Charlotte. Devontae Graham plays point guard, and he has a LaMelo Ball. That could be a situation right there. Or you could look at Denver Nuggets with Gary Harris. That could be, another guy that we can, kind of mix in with 2 different players. And if Denver's trying to go more on the cheap end, we can get a guy like that to come off the bench and be a better spark. Like, we get a bit more quality players. We can make like little chess moves here and there.
Little trades. Yeah, exactly. Little trades I'm all for. But like when people talk about trying to get like Victor Oladipo right now, like I don't see the point when you can get him in free agency. Like JJ Redick's a guy that would be good because he's a solid shooter. And you can trade people like, I hate to say like a Knox if you had to, or like a Frank Ntilikina. I like Frank too. And he's been playing well, and I liked him from the jump. But make it for a move for a star, like we already went through that with Melo. Why make that same mistake?
Yeah, I feel you. But that's a good point you brought up with the JJ Redick. He's also available. And yeah, he's been killing it from 3-point range. He would
And
definitely
that's what
be a
we
good
need.
piece for us. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean I can. Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think about a player like Zach LaVine if we did go sort of like the blockbuster
See
route?
that's the question. Like Zach Levine, like, do you think that'll interfere with Quickly? Because I think Quickly will be the point guard of the future. And when people saying Quickly should start now, I don't even agree with that. Why put the pressure on him now when he's coming off the bench? Look at James Harden. Like he was the sixth man for years in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
It took him a while to develop, and then when he did, broke out, went to Houston, and he didn't, Quickly didn't have to break out to step into that role, but it's good for him to come off the bench for a while and learn the game and not have all that pressure on him. But Zach LaVine might get in the way of a Quickly, development. Who knows? I don't, you know what I mean? Like he could get in the way, or they could be together well, like Rose. Like I thought Rose was going to be a bad move, but
Hello? You went out?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
My bad. But yeah, I was just saying, like with like Zach LaVine could get in the way with Quickly, or they could play together, pretty good, like Rose. I was wrong when I said that Rose was going to be a bad move, but it ended up being great.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I think if we do make a trade, we need try to get like a 2 or a 3, like a Bradley Beal would be perfect for this team right now. And Julius Randle's young. I think we should keep him.
Yeah, definitely. I believe we'll end up keeping him. But, a guy like Zach LaVine is dynamic and he's still young. But I believe if we did end up getting him, we probably would have to give up quickly.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Is it worth it? Do you make it like Quickly? He's crafty, man. He could end up being, like James Harden type level, the way he can draw fouls. I think the kid's going to be a superstar. People say he's going to be like a sixth man of the year. I think he's going to be more than that. But maybe I'm just a Knicks fan who's like,
Yeah, but the only thing is that if there was an opportunity to get Zach LaVine, you really, and Quickly was kind of standing in the way of that. I don't think they're going to be pressed about that because if you look at Zach LaVine, that dude is athletic as hell. He's shooting really good.
Yeah.
And he's young as hell still. So we can actually partner him up with RJ Barrett and he fills our need of point guard, having that kind of dynamic player, and he doesn't get in the way of Julius Randle and RJ.
Yeah, then that's a decision you have to make. Do you believe in Quickly, or do you want or do you want LaVine? I think it could end up killing us, or it could end up being great. Shit like that. You never know. That's like a flip of the coin. It's like trading KP. At first, you're like, man, I don't know if we should have traded him, even though I wasn't really feeling him that last year because he hardly played.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's, like you're saying, he's salty as hell. Like those trades can come back and kill you.
Yeah. What do you think Tibbs would do if he had the choice between holding on to Quickly or getting LaVine? What do you think Tibbs would do?
That's a good question. I don't know, man. I think he would stay with Quickly just because Thibodeau likes that half-court, slow-down game, and that's kind of how Quickly can play. He flourishes in the half-court, where Zach LaVine is a full-court, on the break kind of player.
Wow, really?
But, he also played like that with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is like that too. So who knows?
Yeah, you wouldn't think that Tibbs would go for the more polished player already that can give him the best chance of
well, not that he's not more polished. Of course, he wants a more polished player. But if you look at the style of the game, like how they play, like this Knicks team is a half-court team. They play in the half-court. You know what I mean? They don't go on the break that often. They're not a transition team. And Zach LaVine flourishes in transition. So that could get in the way of Julius, because Julius Randle's not a fast break player. Don't get me wrong. He can, we see him get those steals go on the fast break, but that's a slow team. This team is a slow team.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because they do struggle getting transition points.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're not that type of team. And plus, the game being a lot slower, it probably benefits Julius Randle because he was making a ton of mistakes before. Maybe the game was just going a little too fast.
Exactly. When you see it, when the game slows down, especially like late in the quarters, late in the game, in the thick of it, Julius, that's when he flourishes. That's when he goes off.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think about Spencer Dinwiddie? What if there was a choice?
He's a good player, man.
Yeah. What do you think about him? What if there was like if the Nets are some sort of like in a funny situation with him if they're just trying to dump him, at least get some sort of asset. Do you think the Knicks should try to pull a move for him?
See, and he's a the guy plays defense. We need that type of guy right now, especially right now. I think they should. It depends on what they're giving up for him too, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving up first rounders for him, but I'll give up, like a Knox and maybe like a second rounder or something. And I like Knox too. I think he can play real. I think Knox has a high ceiling, but you just don't see him. I don't know what's wrong. You don't see him fulfilling that ceiling.
Yeah, and he actually grew, man. He's, I believe, 6'10" now. He's taller than Toppin, and they have him. A lot of people think he's a small forward. He is a small forward, but I think originally he wasn't, because he used to be a big dude. I think originally he was a power forward.
He is. Then that's how I see him playing. I don't know why he doesn't play with his back to the basket. He should be posting people up, and you never see him do that.
Yeah. I don't. It could be because he changed his body. Like, I'm not sure, because he became like a slender guy. Like, he wasn't like that before. So it seemed like he sort of
you're right.
backed away from that power forward role. Or maybe he doesn't have the confidence because he doesn't have that same body weight on him. I'm not sure.
That's what I think it is too. I think his confidence is not where it should be. Because like, you remember when KP, like, he at first he was just shooting threes, just pulling up. He wasn't backing people down, and now he's doing that. And he started doing that with the Knicks, and now he's doing it in Dallas. Those, these last few games that he's been playing well, he's been shooting right over people's heads. That's what Kevin Knox should be doing. I think he could do it. He has that kind of like Kevin Durant type body almost, but he's small, a little smaller, and like he's actually a little bigger, like muscle wise it looks like. But he should be playing that style of game. I don't know why he doesn't. He just spots up for the threes.
Yeah. He's sort of gone the finesse route, sort of like the Nets. The Nets play that finesse style. That's why I think a lot of people gravitate more towards the Knicks, because their style kind of represents the city, that grind.
Exactly.
I'm going,
and they don't play
this
defense.
fucking
The Nets don't play
subway in the
defense.
cold, like that type of shit.
Exactly, dude. Knicks fans want to see defense. You want, like, even if the team is losing, but they're playing hard. Like, bro, I was in the Garden watching fucking Langston Galloway. You know what I mean? Like, if you're we just want to see people playing hard, like, and we'll cheer. Like, I've been in the Garden rocking for Alonzo Trier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, New York wants to see a tough, gritty defense team.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what KD didn't understand when he made that comment about the Knicks not being cool. I just think he doesn't really understand the market. And it's got to be throwing those guys off, because they're not getting that same type of love, that same type of energy right now as the Knicks. And the Knicks are nowhere, I wouldn't say they're nowhere near those guys, but those guys, their trajectories on a different level.
Well, they're probably going to win. They're definitely getting to the championship. If that Nets team doesn't get to the championship, it's a bust. I mean, they have all the talent in the world. There's no need for them not to be in the championship. But like to your point, what you're saying is, like, I remember when KD and Kyrie first went to the Nets, and that opening night, they got booed in Barclays, and they weren't even playing the Knicks. Like, it'll always be a Knicks team in New York, always.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, what do you think about the buyout market? Now, guys like Blake Griffin, do the Knicks approach a Blake Griffin or a DeMarcus Cousins?
See, out of either of those guys, I like DeMarcus Cousins just because he can shoot the three. He could play like that stretch five, you know what I mean, which would be good for the Knicks because we need shooting. I think the Nets might make a move for Andre Drummond because they need that type of player. And he's a good player, but, he's an empty stat guy like Russell Westbrook. And these guys can put up all these stats, but it doesn't equal winning. That's how Julius Randle was the last couple of years as well. But he figured it out. And I don't know what that figuring it out means. Maybe it's like, knowing when to pass, I'm not exactly sure. But once these guys figure it out, they go on a tear and the whole team wins, like how Randall's playing now. So I think Andre Drummond could really fit on a team like the Nets. He can go to the Knicks, but out of those guys, I'd rather see DeMarcus Cousins because, he's a tough guy and he can shoot the three. He's not afraid to bang. He's more Nick type of player, more Tom Thibodeau type of player.
Yeah, I feel you. For sure. That's some good points you brought up. Now, what do you think about the standings?
Good looks, bro.
Yeah, like, what do you think about the standings right now? Like, it's real tight. I mean, I'm seeing Cleveland.
It's like the playoffs right now.
Yeah, it's like Cleveland fell off. You know, they were looking pretty good to start off the season, especially after that Jared Allen trade, but they fell off. The Celtics are kind of falling off. The Raptors are coming up. The Heat are coming up. The Hawks completely fell off. They fired their coach today.
Fell off. Oh, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. And it was about time come because they got talent. They should be winning. You know, like Trae Young. I hope he doesn't end up being like a Russell Westbrook where he never figures it out. I mean, he just puts up all these big numbers for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, this right now, the East playoffs are so close. Anybody who loses a game wins a game. You know, I think everybody's like 1 or 2 game away from second, third, you know, 8th and 9th. All you have to do is lose a game or win a game, and you could be out of the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's crazy, man. But it makes it interesting. It makes it fun to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about the knockout stages? You think it's here to stay, or?
That's a good question, man. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, we'll see how it goes. I think it could be really fun. So tell me if I'm right. I could be wrong. So is it like 9 and 10 play each other, and then whoever wins that wins the bye and they're into the playoffs?
Oh shit, I forgot. No, I remember.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But then one of them plays the 8th seed one time, and if yeah, something like that. I know the 8th, the last seed gets involved in it too and could get knocked out because that's what happened to what's his name, Ja Morant last year. I mean, they should have been in the playoffs.
That's right. You're right.
They should have been in the playoffs, but they got fucked over because, you know, I guess the league was trying to put Zion on television during the playoffs, and that shit ain't
they're trying to get those ratings. That's a good point, man. That's crazy. If you really think that's why they're trying to get those, because why else would, like, I get it, it's a shortened season, and it does make it interesting. You're right. I forgot about the 8th could get knocked out, and that is a way to put a guy like Zion, a guy who's going to get viewers, in the playoffs. That's crazy.
Yeah, Greenhouse in the chat, he just said the 7th plays. Yeah, it just looks like the last few teams get involved. I mean, I'm not too sure about it because that shit just started last year in the bubble, but it seems like from the 7th seed and below, they all get involved. But I'm wondering, I'm wondering if the league is gonna have that to stay, because it seems like it's gonna work out for them as far as, you know, getting more importance per game, you know, like having the fans have a sense of urgency of watching the games.
That's a good point. And I think that it's interesting because it also changes the draft too. You know what I mean? Like, because you can be in a 10, like now you're not going to enter those, like, you're not going to tank if you're in that 9 and 10 spot anymore because you have a chance to get in. So people aren't going to be trading players like that, dumping players anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this year, you know, especially with the roster construction due to the pandemic situation, teams got to be deep because you never know. Guys could get pulled because of, you know, the sickness going around, and then at the same time you're dealing with injuries. That's why I said the Knicks are very fortunate early in the season because they didn't really have any reps to kind of work out short preseason, and then dealing with injuries on top of the sickness of potentially guys getting pulled out. We could have really had a bad record.
Yeah, man, we were this close. You know what I mean? Because, like, you see teams. I think Carl Towns had to sit down because of COVID protocol. Like Frank had to be in the hotel for a few weeks because of COVID protocols. Like, man, it's like everything is so close. Anything can happen, and it could change the whole year. It could change the whole season for a team. And we're lucky that the Knicks hadn't really dealt with any of that.
Yeah, especially coming down in the second half of the season where it seems like for everybody, they kind of bunched up the schedule and crunched it really tight. It seems like right now, like you don't feel like the season's been extra ratcheted up ever since February hit. It seems like guys are playing a lot more games. You know, there's less days off.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. The crazy thing is like they're saying they're not even practicing. They don't have time for practice.
Yeah, most teams in the league is not practicing right now. I mean, a lot of teams are admitting that they're not practicing right now, and it hurts a lot of young teams. But that says a lot about Tibbs, because Tibbs, even though the Knicks are young, he still got them on point. So can you imagine they had the reps?
Bro, I think if they had the reps, they could really, like, imagine what's going to be in the season if these guys stick together and get mad close, like, and build that chemistry even more, like, they could be like a team like the Hawks. Remember the Hawks a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago? They had like no stars, but they were in like second place because they were all passing the ball like crazy. Like, a team builds chemistry and you can win. I think Jeff Van Gundy said like a team could win 40 games in the NBA just by playing hard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Tibbs this season, I'm telling you, man, he's got these guys really prepared. And Julius Randle, I had pointed out in a video I made earlier that he said that Tibbs has guys every single game. He has like a game plan for every team specifically. Whether the Knicks are on a back-to-back or whatever it is, Tibbs always has a exact game plan for the next game. And Julius Randle said all his years in the NBA, he never had that before. And having Tibbs is, he says, almost like a gift from the heavens, man.
Well, it goes to show how important a coach and the coaching staff really is. You know what I mean? Like, we've had so many coaches over the years, like, and Tibbs came in with almost the same squad as last. I mean, not, a lot of different guys, but some of the same team guys, Mitch, Julius, Alfred, you know what I mean? Like, and he turned the team around like that, and they didn't even have to, it's been a short season. Like you were saying before, imagine they had like a regular season.
Yeah, if they had a regular season, just overall, just a preseason, and of course summer league. You look at guys like Obi Toppin.
Yeah,
summer league could have really helped them transition into the NBA. The game speed, just overall, the feel of the game. It's like guys just got tossed in.
But absolutely, Quickly. Imagine Quickly had that preseason. He'd be balling, right? He already is balling.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of these guys, man, it seem like they're already ready, man. Just Quickly is making a lot of strides real fast.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another thing towards your point about KP. Like, we got Quickly because of KP. Like, I forgot, it's like some roundabout way. Like, we got something. We got like Morris for. I forgot who it is. We got somebody for him, traded that for a pick, and got Quickly. We would have never had Quickly if it wasn't for that KP trade.
Really? So the KP trade is the one that got us that. What was Quickly? Quickly
got us that pick. Yeah,
was a late first round.
He was a late first round, and everybody said we were stupid for picking him in the first round. They had him projected going deep in the second.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, that draft overall, people don't know who's who. Because I'm telling you, if you even just look at the footage of that draft, just them broadcasting it on TV, they didn't really talk about the player's skill set. They talked about their personal lives more than they showed highlights of them, because they didn't really have that many highlights to go off of them. That was the craziest thing.
True.
That draft was the first draft where I seen they just talk about the players' personal lives. That's when I knew something was off.
Yeah. So you knew it was crazy, right?
Yeah. Even LaMelo Ball, he didn't play for a year. Like, he got drafted early.
Yeah, man.
He's just been practicing for a year. So it's like that draft is real funny. It's like nobody really knows who's who.
Absolutely. There's a video I saw on YouTube, and it's from like CBS or somebody. But and they're grading the draft, and that Quickly pick they give like a D- because they're like, oh, he should have gone like late second round. And then you go look at the comments, and everybody's like, you dumbass, you know what I mean? Because obviously now we know, like, but that's how you know, like you're saying, they had no footage really to go on because of the shortened season. Like, LaMelo Ball's a big surprise. I didn't think he was gonna be what he is already. I thought he'll get there, but man, he's balling.
Now I'm wondering, it's like a gym like atmosphere. I always wondered that too.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. I thought of that too before. Like, I was thinking, like, when they're letting people back in the Garden, like, man, what if that ruins it? What if, it put pressure on the guys, you know what I mean? Like, because I feel you, man. I would be nervous as hell, like, playing in the gym for, so long, and now all of a sudden they're letting people in. I'm glad they're doing it small, like 2,000 at a time. Like, there's only 2,000 people out in there now. Like, let it gradually, fill up just so these guys can get used to it.
Yeah. And DSJ, man, what do you think about him? Because it ended up not working out with him, but he's actually started his first 6 games in Detroit, and they actually won 1 game out of the 6. So I'm just wondering if he's barely holding on to his NBA career, and also if the Detroit Pistons made that trade for him because they knew he was going to be bad, and that way he could continue their tanking.
That's a good point, man. It's crazy to think about it because, Rose they were playing bad. The Pistons were playing badly, and I think Rose was their second highest score. I think he was averaging like 14 over there. Like, and he came over here and play a lot better than he did there. And then DSJ goes over there, and people are saying he's playing pretty well. I haven't seen any of his games besides the Knick one, but I hope he works out for him. I don't want these kids. It breaks my heart to see these kids they have their everything riding on them, all this pressure, all this family life, and then like their boss, man. That's got to be hard. It's got to be a hard thing to go through. I think he could be a productive player in the NBA. I don't think he's going to be a star. Like, remember when he was first on the Mavericks? People were saying he was going to be a star. Remember LeBron was like, "Oh, he should be a Knick." Like,
yeah, but LeBron was throwing shade. LeBron was throwing shade at Phil Jackson because remember around that time they were beefing.
Yeah.
So he was throwing subtle shades at Phil Jackson. I remember Phil Jackson called his crew the Posse Crew or something like that.
Yeah, Posse.
Yeah.
Posse, I read all of Phil Jackson's books. I read Sacred Hoops, and he refers to his own crew in that book in Sacred Hoops, like him, Clyde Frazier, like all of those guys from that team, Earl the Pearl, the Busher, and he refers to them as his posse. I don't think he meant, and plus, they say, I forgot his name, a guy who played on that championship Knicks team. He was in the military while playing for the Knicks, and during the Vietnam protests and during the civil rights protests, he was there with a gun with the military, and Phil Jackson was on the other side protesting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, like,
feels like a hippie dude.
Yeah, it's crazy because I have a friend, and his father's the same age as Phil Jackson. He's a basketball junkie. And they use posse in the same term. So I really believe it's Phil Jackson's era. LeBron just took it a different way because I guess in his era, it just means something different. I think it's just a miscommunication.
And like, you can't blame him. You can't blame LeBron because like he goes through so much scrutiny. And I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm not a hater. But like he goes through so much scrutiny. Like everybody's always talking shit about him. You know what I mean? Like, so I think he was too defensive on that Phil Jackson thing. But like it's because everybody's so hard on him. You know what I mean? Like you got this dumbass soccer player saying this stuff just the other day. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be hard, man.
So last question: Do you really think that the Mavericks are really trying to get rid of KP? Do you think that they were shopping him around at least?
I think it was more motivation. I think, of course you're going to see what you can get. And if you can get something good, like, if he had the Warriors and they were going to trade Klay Thompson, which obviously they're not going to, but just as an example, of course they're going to do it. But I think it was more motivational to try to get him to play better because I do believe that he is kind of a baby. Like, cause like all the drama with the Knicks, like him demanding to see James Dolan, and then like, wanting his brother to be like, I forgot what it was, like he wanted the Knicks to pay his brother as like his therapist or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember that? And I remember there was one game too, or not even a game. Jeff Hornacek and all those guys went to like a UFC fight, and they were all in the box together. And KP was down in the front, not even with them, like with his brother. Like I believe he probably is a prima donna.
Yeah, I mean, he probably wanted that Kawhi Leonard treatment, man. But Kawhi Leonard is winning championships. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, Kawhi gets the same treatment, but he's actually worth it. KP, you don't know what you're getting out of that.
For real. Sometimes he plays like a star, sometimes he plays like a bum. And lately it's been more like a bum.
Yo, when you let Rudy Gobert drop fucking 29 points on you and that guy doesn't even score points, that's bad.
We're hurt.
But
it was bad, dude.
Yeah, but one of the main issues with KP is that I believe the knee he had surgery on recently, he has problems bending down and getting in his defensive stance. So that's the reason why he's getting burned all the time.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Because he did have torn meniscus, and I think he had like an ACL the first time or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's so tall, like 7'3", 7'4". Most NBA players, like, lie a little bit on their height, but he's a legit 7'3". You know what I mean? Like, and they say that's not really that great. I remember Phil Jackson said it was like an article when he first took over as president, like talking about KP, like his height might be a disadvantage, and I think we might be seeing that.
Yep. But at the end of the day, man, Dallas Mavericks fans, man, they be coming at me, man. But I'm telling you, that shit ain't gonna work out. They thought they were getting something else, but that shit ain't gonna work out.
I think we won the trade. Maybe we'll see in a couple of years if KP and Luka become like the next stars. But I think as right now we won that trade.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm still waiting on that 2021 pick because I still
Word.
think Dallas, man, they're gonna be struggling because Dallas was actually waiting on the Giannis sweepstakes, and once they struck out
Yeah.
with that, that team was pretty much downhill because they didn't spend any money last summer because they're waiting on him. So once Giannis re-signed, they were gonna be struggling
They're
anyway.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, so right now
Exactly.
I think they signed what Trey Burke. They hardly made any signings to improve that team.
Yeah, man.
So
And and the talent is scarce this year too, man. They might end up getting one of these buyout guys, like you were saying, but and I want to see DeMarcus Cousins and Blake Griffin. I want to see these guys go somewhere and be productive because, like, they can be. You know what I mean? I think the Clippers could use them, the Lakers could use them, the Nets could use them.
I believe Blake will be productive out of that
Yeah.
crew. I think Blake will be, but we'll see if Blake, doesn't be like a little pre Madonna about playing about 25 minutes a game. If he starts to understand his role, he could definitely be productive because he's improved on his 3-point shooting and his jump shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even though
Bro, remember he was training with Melo.
What would you say?
Blake was training with a few years ago. Blake was training with Melo, like doing the jab steps, like pulling up from three, like.
Yeah.
He picked up some of those tricks, man, and he could be dangerous, man. And he's still dunking. What I feel bad about guys like Drummond and Blake is that the NBA changed on them. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be suited to them, and then the Warriors changed everything. And it even really started before that with that 2013 Knicks team when they were bombing threes, you know what I mean? And they had Rasheed Wallace, shooting from three, like their stretch five, like, but the Warriors took it to another level, obviously, and changed the whole league. And those guys are kind of left behind.
Yeah, definitely. Well, John, man, appreciate you giving me a call, man. Definitely be on the lookout in your email for other shows, and I definitely appreciate it, man. This was a great conversation, by the way.
I appreciate it, man. I agree. It was a great, and I hope talk to you soon, man.
All right, definitely, man. Stay up.
Later, brother.
All right, once again, phone lines are open. There's a few things on the docket if you guys want to discuss the KP situation, the sort of trade deadline, what's going on with that with the Knicks. Should they make a move? Should they not? And the energy of the city, man. Who are they really with, man? They're with the Brooklyn Nets or they're with the Knicks? Especially after that viral Knicks video. You guys let me know what you think.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
The kid from BK, of course, man. They're going to make Kawhi sweat for that money, man. Last season, he promised him a championship, and that shit ain't work out. They're going to make him work for every penny this season. Now, Harlem Girl says that the Quickly pick came from the Marcus Morris trade. It seems about right, because I remember we did get an asset for trading him. But I'm gonna definitely do research on that. I'm gonna take your word on it, because that seems about right. Because I remember there has to be a reason that we gave up Morris, and we give up Morris to a championship contending team. And normally they do give up a first round pick because of that. Because I remember the Andre Iguodala situation was like that in Memphis. They gave him up to Miami and they got a first round pick. So the Knicks sort of played the same cards last year with Marcus Morris. That's a good point, Harlem Girl. It might be from that. But definitely Harlem Girl and John, man. John Carlos, you guys got good info. Once again, phone lines are open. The link is in the description below. Drop your 2 cents and let me know what's good. Yo.
Yo, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Yo, seems like your lady's stressing you out over there, man.
Yeah, you know the energy, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, how you feeling, man? Yo, you see my Knicks?
Yeah, I see them, man. They're looking good at number 4 seed right now.
Oh, yes. Yo, you see the energy out here, man? Like, it's with the Knicks and it's not really with the Nets. I know you peeped that. I
think they're missing one piece. I look at Andre Barrett, man. I think he's gonna really expand, the team.
Who, RJ Barrett?
Yeah, because he's the future.
Yeah, man. But yo, I'm telling you, man.
They got
How do you feel about them right now? Like the Knicks right now, overall in this rebuilding phase, that they have more energy than the Brooklyn Nets, and the Nets are on the championship trajectory.
I feel like they like 2 pieces away from being a championship contender. I don't know why the Garden isn't like a team that's bringing in a lot of prime athletes, but there's not a lot of good athletes left. If you look at it, like the scope of really good athletes are not a lot. So I think that the season after like 2 more seasons, it's gonna be open market for a lot of these new talents to come in. I wish you guys would have got Melo Ball, man. He's really good, but you know, with what y'all got, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, only thing about Melo Ball, I'm not sure how he would fit in with Tibbs, man. Tibbs would have worked his ass out. All that little sweet finessing jump shooting shit that he does, Tibbs would have definitely tried to change up his game a little bit. At least have him play defense.
Wow. I mean, I don't know. I just look at Tibbs like he's overworking his players, and he's making them play 40-something minutes. I think there needs to be a balance because I guess they're young. I get that they're young, but I still feel like, you know what, he's overworking them. 40+ minutes a night. He's not managing their minutes.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think? What do you think about this trade deadline with the Knicks, man? Like, you think they can make a move, or who do you like in the trade deadline?
I don't think
overall?
it's worth a move right now. I don't really think it's worth a move.
No, you don't like nobody out there in the market.
This is just to get in the playoffs. As long as they get in the playoffs, that's what matters, man. I don't think like for them to make a trade and trade all their assets right now. I think they should stand pat and keep building, and hopefully they can get out the first round, and that's a win. I think if the Knicks making out the first round or even get home court advantage, that's a plus.
Now, what if they got a shot to get Zach LaVine? What if they say like, "Yo, give us a draft pick"?
He's not worth it. He's not worth it. Zach LaVine, nah, I don't think so.
Zach LaVine? Oh my God, man, yo, seriously, man. He plays point guard. Go ahead.
Is Zach LaVine gonna get you any further than what round you guys gonna be at? Like, he's gonna get you to semi-conference finals. Why would you want to trade for him? He's not worth it.
Maybe not this year. Not this year, but Zach LaVine, he's like 26, man. He's like 20. I think he's 25.
Yeah, but I've seen that story play too many times with him. He's too inconsistent. He reminds me of J.R. Smith. One game he'll drop 30. Remember when J.R. was on the Nuggets? You have one game he'll drop 30+ points. The next game he drops 8.
Zach LaVine is on a different level than what J.R. Zach LaVine is actually leading his team, man. He's on a different level. The only thing is that he needs other players around him.
It's not contributing to wins. He got a really good team with marketing, and he got the other nigga.
His team is not good at all. Ricardo, man, you bugging.
Marketing was supposed to be nice. I don't know what happened to marketing.
Nah.
Him and Porzingis, they both dropped.
You said him and Porzingis?
Yes, Porzingis is a bum. Marketing is a bum now. I don't know what happened. I remember when marketing first came into the league, him and Porzingis were going back and forth. And all of a sudden they just like they like role players. And they were legit stars.
Yes, that's a flop. But what do you think? What do you think about that KP trade? Looking 2 years later, man. Right now, like, because KP right now he's injury prone. He can't really play. Dallas is rumored to trade to wanting to trade him. Like, looking back now, like, you think that KP trade really worked out for the Knicks? The fact that they didn't have to pay him max money.
I don't know. I think the league right now, in the next 2-3 years, is going to be a lot different. I think right now we're in a LeBron era and Kawhi. But I think in the next 2-3 years, the league is going to be open. All these young teams are going to be coming up, and I think it's going to be a different landscape. So with that being said, I really feel the Knicks should just stand pat, try to get into the playoffs, make it at least out the first round.
No, I feel you on that. I'm just saying the KP trade, just looking at now it's 2 years later after the KP trade. Do you feel like the Knicks came up by not giving him a max deal? Like, they traded out of that. Do you feel like that was good for them?
Of course, if you see the outcome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, because a lot of people at the time, it was like, damn, the Knicks traded away the better player, but They came out of
Yeah,
trade with Dennis
they didn't
Smith
get nothing
Jr.
for him. What they got for Porzingis? Let him go in free agency.
Nah,
They could have got it
mm-hmm.
when they didn't get nothing from Dallas. They was on a 3. They let him go with actually not getting nothing from them. I think they were under the impression that they were gonna get some parts. He walked away from New York.
Nah, he didn't walk away from the
nothing.
Knicks. Man, yo, Ricky Bobby, you bugging, man. Nah, he didn't walk away from the Knicks. He got traded, man, for DSJ. The Knicks had Dennis Smith Jr. They got the 2021 first round pick, man, out of Dallas. That's what I'm telling you. 2 years down the road now, looking back, do you think they came up?
So what did they get for him? What they got for Porzingis?
Dennis Smith Jr. and a 2021 first round draft pick. That's looking like right now, that draft pick looking like a lottery pick right now. The way Dallas is playing.
But you know what that bullshit though? The league fucked the Knicks over because y'all was supposed to get Zion Williams. Because at that year when Zion was on the market, when he was coming in the draft, he was supposed to go to the Knicks. All of a sudden they did that bullshit where they changed the lottery and the Knicks didn't qualify for him.
Yo, but you know, at the end of the day, that shit might end up working out in our favor anyway. Because
why you say that?
Zion is killing, but I mean, longevity. I mean, who knows how he's gonna end up?
Imagine it would have been Zion with Andre Barrett together, bro. That would have been box office.
Nah, but it's impossible because the Knicks only had one pick.
Who they picked? They picked Andre Barrett over Zion?
No, they picked RJ Barrett. Zion was already taken off the board.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, I like Andre Barrett though. I think he has much more upside. I think he could be the next Paul Pierce, man. He reminds me of his game. He got a mid range. He can play defense.
Yeah, he got that type of game. He got that type of slow game that he's like, damn, this shit's unstoppable, man.
And Randolph is killing. But you know what? I've seen that too many times where players come to the Knicks and they leave. Hopefully he stays.
Nah, man. This year is different. This year's a lot different.
Remember they had Zach Randolph? And he went to Memphis. He was killing on Memphis.
Yeah, but he was kind of killing for the Knicks too. Is that they just never had the right pieces around him. That's all it was. Yeah, but yo, who do you like to fucking move during this free agency, man? I mean, not free agency, during the trade deadline. Even though I know you mainly fuck with the Lakers, but like,
I think
what are you looking at?
Kyle Lowry looks really good. I like Kyle Lowry. I think any team Kyle Lowry goes to is gonna make them enhance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Kyle Lowry. I'm looking at who else? Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond looks good. I'll take Andre Drummond. He looks pretty good. Blake Griffin will be all right.
Nah, Blake Griffin, he gonna get bought out. I mean, he just gonna be a free agent anyway.
He don't play no defense. So I feel like he give you points, but he don't play no defense. His game is so bad now. He lost all his athleticism. Him and Westbrook look horrible.
Yo, what do you think about Lonzo Ball? He's out there. The Pelicans are trying to trade him.
Yo, Lonzo Ball is a bum. He can't shoot.
Yo, but sometimes the passes he be making to Zion is insane, man. I'm just like, damn.
Honestly, I think his brother Melo Ball is way better than him.
I think he just might be a better shooter. Because Lonzo Ball, he plays defense. Lonzo Ball plays defense. Don't get it fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not gonna work because he can't score. He can't attack the rack. Every time he get blocked. So it's like, okay, he's gonna pass. He reminds me of Jason Kidd. You know how that played out.
Nah, Jason Kidd over time he learned to shoot. He's a horrible shooter, and at the end of his career, like in the last I would say 6 years, he was shooting threes, man. I mean, shit could change. It can always change. Like you got to give these guys time to develop. I think we always judging these guys way too early. That's why a lot of people was shitting on RJ Barrett last year, and then all of a sudden, he came up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't even put him on the all-rookie team. I think even, like, second string. But somehow Zion made first string. That shit right there, major question mark.
It's a buy. It's a star-driven league. And unfortunately, the Knicks finally are making some noise. But I want to see the Knicks go against the Brooklyn Nets, man. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the Brooklyn Nets, man, they're on a different level, but But overall, man, KD saying that the Knicks ain't cool this past weekend, man, that shit has basically become a myth, man.
No, the Knicks. I think the ownership. I think they just do horrible ownership. They've been so bad for so many years, but
Yeah,
let's see what
that
happens.
stigma is coming off, man. That stigma is definitely coming off.
Stingler's coming off.
Yeah.
Man, like I said, man, I wish I would have saw Melo and Stoudemire, man, and they prime play together, man. They never. I think that team would have been really good, man. Maury Stoudemire and Melo. That was right there was a championship team, man.
I'm telling you, they only played together for one, I would say, playoff run against the Celtics when they got swept. I think they got swept in that first round. That was the only series where, like, I would say, sort of prime Amari and Melo played together. I still don't remember what year that was, but there definitely was a series where the Celtics beat the Knicks, but Amari and Melo was both playing at the same time. But it is what it is. But yo, man, appreciate you, man. Yo, don't get in trouble out there, man. I see a lady about to chew your head off, man.
Yo, man, I appreciate the podcast, man.
Yeah,
it's
man.
talking about some deep conversations, man. Hopefully, like we were when I was in college, man, I always said, yo, the Knicks are gonna do something, man. To see that happen, like you guys are back in title contention, it really big for the city.
Yeah,
it's
yo,
really a big move for the city.
But yo, before you dip out, man, let me ask you about your Lakers, man. Yo, is LeBron shook, man? What's going on over there?
Huh?
Is LeBron shook that he got to carry the team by himself?
I mean, he's not. He's not. I just think he's overwhelmed right now, man. No AD. AD's not really giving out.
Yo, but how could he be overwhelmed? He's the king. That's what he calls himself.
I mean, he's not old. He's old. Father Time, Father Time is undefeated. He's just talented, but I don't think he got it anymore where he could carry a team like he used to.
So he's washed.
Like Dwayne Wade. He can do it in spurts. He can't do it for a whole 42 minutes.
Yeah, that's fact. And he been secretly hiding that shit through Anthony Davis's performances, man. Because Anthony Davis, man, the numbers he be putting up is MVP levels.
They're just one piece away. They need to get a big man that can protect the rim. I don't know why the fuck they got rid of Dwight Howard, man. Honest to God, I really don't know why they got rid of him.
Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks, man, they went on a crazy spending spree, man.
Yeah, but they got all those players and they fucking still suck.
Yo, they fired their coach today, matter of fact.
They did?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, shit. Yeah, they spent all that money. Got Gallinari. They got all these fucking prime players, and all of a sudden they not even in the playoffs.
Ah, man, it is what it is, man. Yo, appreciate you, man. I'ma holler at you, man.
All right, bro.
Definitely. Peace. All right, phone lines are still open. You guys, let me know what you think. Drop your 2 cents.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Definitely do. Damn, the kid from BK talking about the Brooklyn Nets versus the Knicks game is $300 for the nosebleeds. Sheesh. They better guarantee you can't get COVID sitting up in them seats for that price. I mean, if you guys ever been to the Barclays Center, it's almost like you about to jump off the ledge just by sitting down. All right, you guys, phone lines are still open. Topics on the docket. Do the Knicks have the energy of the city over the Brooklyn Nets? And also, should they make a move before the trade deadline? And also, who won that trade between KP? Well, I shouldn't say KP. Between the Mavericks and the Knicks 2 years down the road looking back. How do you guys feel about it? And why is KP frustrated in Dallas? Phone lines is open. You guys let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Damn, Linden and a bunch of other people don't like Lonzo Ball's game. He does play defense, though. I don't really like his game either, but he is going to be available at that deadline. It's either they're going to trade him or they're not going to get no assets for him. He could walk away at the end of the season. But that Spencer Dinwiddie, that's an interesting move because he's either going to pick up his option or he's just going to hit the free agency. It's really him, Zach LaVine, and possibly Gary Harris. If we could give up a second round pick to get someone like him to be that quick plug off the bench, shooting wise, that wouldn't be a bad look for the team. Guys like RJ Barrett, they're still going to be young, but they're going to be a little bit too polished to be getting guys fresh off the draft, 18, 19, who really don't know nothing. Like sort of in the same realm where Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is at right now. They're a little bit too polished. They're still young, but they can't be playing next to a bunch of 19, 18-year-old guys that just came into the league. You don't want to put them in that situation because they're going to get frustrated. You still kind of want to put more polished vets around. That's why I say RJ Barrett, getting Zach LaVine and putting him next to RJ wouldn't be that bad, in my opinion. Honestly, the Knicks couldn't make any trade for a max contract guy because you'd have to match the salaries. And we don't have anybody's salary that comes even close to that. I know Randall, we would have to give up Randall because he has the highest salary off a rip. But right now, a max contract guy that we would trade for, I really don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't trade anybody for a max player right now. I would trade for someone that could potentially become the max in a couple of years. His deal would have to be sort of a good, sweet deal like Randall's deal. The max contracts, matter of fact, are like a double-edged sword. Because once a player signs that shit, it is so hard to get rid of them. You've seen it happen to Russell Westbrook, John Wall, James Harden. You could basically only trade those guys for each other. Especially when it doesn't work out, like Russell Westbrook and John Wall. They could only get traded for each other. There's no other scenario that those contracts could get moved unless they get bought out. But Carter, best believe the league is going to switch up those super max contracts. The next collective bargaining agreement, they're going to put some sort of clause. If you want to get out of that deal or you want to get traded, there's a kicker. You lose a certain amount of money. Because those super max contracts have not worked out the way the owners thought they would. They thought the players would stick to the same teams because the money was a lot. And that shit ended up being a lie. We've seen it with James Harden, Westbrook, John Wall. I mean, when guys want to leave, they want to leave. So owners are definitely going to put a penalty on those supermax deals come the next time that they do that collective bargaining agreement. Victor Oladipo, man, he better be hitting those high notes, man. I see him, he be singing, but he's not going to be singing after he sees some of the offers he's going to get for some of these deals, because people are just curious to see how he performs off that injury, and he doesn't have that same explosiveness that he had before. But if a team can get him on a bargain deal, that wouldn't be that bad, because how slow he's become, this guy can almost play like not power forward, small forward, sort of like a combo shooting guard, small forward, because right now just that explosiveness is missing. It's not there anymore. But Carter, the players that the Knicks should really be looking out for, I know the Nets wouldn't give the Knicks a sweet deal. It's that Spencer Dinwiddie situation and that Zach LaVine situation, because those are kind of roles that we need right now. And low-key, the Boston Celtics, they have Kemba Walker out in the market, but nobody wants that contract. That shit is bad. And I would never make a trade with Danny Ainge because he be ripping teams off. And another possible play, Devontae Graham with Michael Jordan, because of course Jordan has LaMelo Ball at point guard, so he doesn't really have any use for Devontae Graham. But Devontae Graham's on a one-year deal that expires this year, so I'm not sure what moves could be made with that. But he's definitely going to be out on the market regardless. So even if during the offseason we could possibly pick him up for probably dirt cheap, because this season he didn't get to do anything. Yeah, May 4th. What's going on, man? Once again, phone lines are open. The link is in the description below. Give me a call. Let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
And definitely drop your 2 cents. Well, I had no idea those Nets tickets were only $15. I remember they couldn't give those shits away fast enough a couple years back. Now they're about to have all of Brooklyn paying James Harden's max contract. Brooklyn is not paying for James Harden's max deal. They're not paying to see a guy that's going to dribble, step back, travel, and then jump shot. Chill. That is horrible basketball. Ain't nobody in the tri-state area plays basketball like that. That's some West Coast shit. What's going on, Steven Arosa? The kid from BK. I don't think the pricing. They should just call it that. Because the Nets are way over that luxury tax. And they're not selling no tickets. Once again, phone lines are open. The link is in the description below. Let me know what you think.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak, though.
Yeah, Max Kellerman do be watching the Knicks games on the low with his favorite panties on, just eating a bowl of ice cream, and just crying, wishing that he never made those statements on First Take about the Knicks. I'm telling you. Because he was smirking way too hard during that whole segment. Does anybody have any info in the chat about how much those Knicks tickets are running for? And was it only friends and family? With that, I believe they let 2,000 people into the arena. Because they were saying that on the broadcast. Most of them was friends and family. So I'm just wondering how many hard copies were they actually trying to sell? And how much were they selling them for? Nah, Rosa, if they press Max Kellerman, he's just going to pull out his Knicks hat, man. He's like, yo, I was a fan the whole time, guys. Nah, in all seriousness, though, Max Kellerman is a fan of the Knicks. Definitely. He's definitely a fan of the Knicks. That guy, always brags about him standing in line waiting for tickets. So, once a Knick, always a Knick. Wow, the kid from BK says the whole league released tickets for the rest of the season to fans. I guess the NBA ain't playing, man. In the second half of the season, they're trying to get their money. But I bet you them tickets are going to be insane. But that shit better come with a vaccination shot or something. And you Nets fans, you will be paying that James Harden tax. Yeah, Rappaport is not a Knicks fan anymore. What happened to him, man? His whole branding was the Knicks. Nah, Steven, I believe Rappaport is a Nets fan now. He's not going to run to Dallas because his branding is all in New York. He does that fake Long Island accent or whatever, that Nassau type accent. So his whole branding is in New York. But I can't believe he said he's not a Knicks fan anymore. That's some dumb shit. How you change your mind after all these years of just being a loyal fan, going to games? Rappaport is bugging. Stephen Ross calling KP a 7'3" shooting guard. Yeah, I knew something was wrong when I seen Marcus Smart back up KP and then block him. I didn't know what the hell was going on. KP be fading away against the smallest guys. I never understood that. I mean, at the end of the day with KP, I don't think his body is holding up at all. And that's pretty much going to be his downfall. And Mark Cuban taking that Larry Bird gamble, it's actually going to backfire on him. But it paid off with the Luka pick, but with the KP situation, it's not going to work out. Well, Steven, it's hard to tell if we lost that trade yet. We got to see how that 2021 draft pick turns out. And also, we got to see what becomes of KP because in a way, we kind of, well, if we did win that trade, we won that trade because of the lack of moves that we made, aka not giving KP a max deal, because that's gonna come back and bite Mark Cuban in the ass, because he's gonna spend a couple more years not being able to give Luka the help that he needs. So sometimes you win the trade because of the lack of moves you actually make. Yeah, KP did get beat up in his own country. Oh man, he was trying to go shopping and he thought he was in Italy.
So we thought, you know what? Let's take a little shopping trip to Italy.
But it turns out he definitely wasn't. Once again, phone lines are open. I'm gonna leave them open for about 5 more minutes. You guys let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak though.
Now, Steven, I don't think Luka hates KP. I think he's growing frustrated because he's not really getting the help this season, and they had a lot of expectations. It's not like last year where people didn't really expect much and they were overachieving. Once the expectations grow, sort of like the Boston Celtics after Kyrie left, these guys tend to fold. Once again, phone lines are open. You guys let me know what's on your mind.
A lot of thoughts on the mind, man. Let's speak though.
And don't be afraid to drop your own 2 cents. All right, you guys, definitely check me out on the Discord. We got a community there with Knick fans, PanKnick on the Discord. Also on Twitter, PanKnick. And definitely check out the playlist on the channels. There's different videos, especially pertaining to around the league. Definitely check out the playlist because some of you guys are asking for other content. There's a bunch of videos there, but somehow it wouldn't get marketed to you. It wouldn't come up on your timeline, but definitely check the playlist. Damn, it looks like the Nets and the Spurs are in overtime. The Spurs must have not played no defense tonight. All right, you guys, this will be the end of the live stream. Definitely, we'll do this again. Sign up for the email list so you can get notified. And once again, check out the playlist on the channel. There's a bunch of videos that you guys probably never seen. And also, we're on the Discord at PanKnick. Same thing on Twitter. And definitely check out Orange Cookies. That channel has videos pertaining to things that are going on around the league that's outside of the Knicks. So until next time, you guys stay safe. Peace.